All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. My name is Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Gonna be getting into this New Year's Eve 8-game slate. Hopefully it's a good slate, and hopefully you guys can bring in the new year with maybe a GPP win, or let's just play it safe and a cash-in lineup. All right, but stay safe out there as well, guys. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So looking at the guards, I will say if Luka is out, which he's currently probable, so probably not going to be out, you would be looking at Spencer Dinwiddie, and then you would also probably be looking at Christian Wood as a solid forward play. Looking at LaMelo Ball, he is an interesting play, does have a lot of usage with Kelly Oubre off the court, so it's no surprise that he really went off in that previous game with Kelly Oubre off the court. So it's really just what is his ceiling now and what is his floor. His ceiling probably going to be around 65 DK points. I mean, he has just been that good, but his floor is probably around 35, especially going against Brooklyn. I do start to worry about Brooklyn. Just they've been a very solid team, so 10K is a lot to pay up for him. He has been doing that and have been more productive. I would say there's other players that can give us that same production. I will say John Morant, an interesting play, coming off of a very strong night, and he is a safe play, but at the same time I think I would rather play LaMelo Ball instead. And just looking at the last few times he's played the Pelicans, went for 57 and went for 46. So like if we can get in the middle of that, that'd be great. So kind of a wait and see approach for me on who I want to pay up for at the guard position as it sits right now. So we got to get news on Darius Garland. He's currently questionable. If he were to sit, we would be looking at Donovan Mitchell. Gets a pretty good matchup going against Chicago. Got to see if Maxi's going to play in this one. If he sits, then I think we can load up on Embiid and Harden as well, but Melton's back as well, so they're kind of back fully healthy. So if he plays, that kind of just makes all the Sixers players a little bit too highly priced to the point where I don't know if I can really end up on those guys. I think this game is going to be a game that we want to attack the Knicks and Houston. I feel like this is a little bit too high of a price for Kevin Porter Jr. We know he's playing a lot. We know he's going to put up a lot of shot attempts. Really, he just needs to be making the buckets. Makes for a good GPP play if you are trying to stack that game. That would make sense. Okay, and if you can go for 40 DK points along with some of the other really strong Knicks plays, that game could really go out and you could put together a lineup that gets 320, kind of just by stacking that game and then touching on some of the values that are out there. I don't mind him. If I end up on him, I'm fine with it. The biggest slate impacting injury news as it sits right now is looking at Jalen Brunson. He was someone that sat out in the last game, and with that, quickly literally was just the best play you could make. I guess that's a lie. Mark Williams was, but it was very predictable that quickly was going to be underpriced at 5K and that he was going to go out and have a good game. Okay, averages 40 fantasy points per 36 with Brunson off the court. No shock that he went off, especially given the fact that he had 43 minutes. That's kind of expected. And so this is already going to be a game that we want to be targeting. So if we get news that Brunson is out, quickly is a great play on the slate. And already speaking, RJ Barrett's going to be out, so quickly should hold value alone as well. Just the upside's a little bit capped at that point then. So either way, quickly I think is going to be a player that we are trying to go out of our way to play. And just for what it's worth, if Jalen Brunson does play and doesn't have his minutes limited at all against this matchup with Houston, I like him as a play as well. So, we could potentially be double dipping, maybe triple dipping into the New York Knicks, just given kind of their soft price point. Jordan Clarkson, I think we can easily go back to again tonight, like we played him last night. Like I said, guys, he just continues to be underpriced for some reason. Like I said, it was like Lauri Markkanen at the beginning of the season, and now it's Jordan Clarkson for the Jazz, where the production doesn't match the price point. He should be at least 7.4, 7.5. Looking at Kevin Porter Jr. and Jordan Clarkson, who has been safer and had more upside, maybe not more upside, but who has been safer, it's been Jordan Clarkson. So the price difference doesn't really make sense to me. Sure, the matchup with Miami isn't one that you're targeting necessarily like you were with the Kings last night, but just a strange soft price tag. He should be getting a price bump. So I'll definitely have some of Jordan Clarkson. It's just a question of how much Jordan Clarkson. Trey Jones is someone that I do like a lot tonight with Devin Vassell, currently questionable, looking like he's going to sit. Trey Jones, no shock that he got more minutes. Just a few more minutes is all that it really takes for a lot of these Spurs players. Got 33 minutes, was able to put up 33 DK points. If we can get that again, that's going to be huge. Okay, and this Dallas Spurs game is actually one I think we can stack as well. It's kind of an intriguing game to stack as well. So I think Trey Jones is going to be at a soft price point, someone we could easily fit into some of our builds. Jaden Ivey with Killian Hayes still out. I think he is someone that could put up 30 DK points or so. I just worry about his upside. Back end of a back-to-back, maybe he gets a little bit more minutes being a younger guy. So something we could look for there. Mike Conley has been someone that also has been playing a lot of minutes as well. And, just looking at the back end of a back-to-back, I don't really think we have to worry about the minutes and not being there. Maybe he only gets like a few less minutes, but the thing is he'll probably get around 30 minutes. And if we get Mike Conley getting around 30 minutes, playing or shooting the ball at least 10 times at 4.9, that is going to be intriguing to me as well. This is a very cheap price tag for him. We saw him go for 34 last night, 23 and 41. Like if we get any of those, like we'd be fine with that. Obviously 23 not preferred, but just given the logic that if we can play someone that's going to shoot the ball 11 times and, make up for maybe a poor night shooting with some assists, that's highly appealing to me. So Mike Conley does make a decent amount of sense given that price tag. Another really strong price point play is going to be Alec Burks, someone that was actually 50% owned, I think, in some contest last night, which I would say that's correct. But at the same time, all of us pretty much got bailed out, okay, because he only played 22 minutes and he shot the ball super efficiently. Like that feels a little bit lucky. 2 straight nights of really shooting the ball well. Okay. And maybe we just ride the hot hand there, but a little bit lucky there. Let's be honest. Like he could have easily went, let's just say 3 for 9 and really doesn't do much. So like still going to be a strong GPP play. Definitely. I wouldn't say he's a cash play at this point, but strong GPP play. Maybe gets a few more minutes in this game with it being the back end of a back-to-back and that game kind of being a little bit of a blowout. I could see that happening. So definitely some of that's still in play. Definitely some that is still going to be a very strong GPP play. So I do want to point out Jalen Noel as well. Rudy Gobert sat out last night's game. And if he sits out again, Jalen Noel is actually someone that does pick up usage and minutes and production. Yeah, we should be able to, maybe we don't, about an hour after lock. I don't know. We should have a decent indication of whether or not Rudy Gobert is going to play or not. Like this is an illness for Rudy Gobert. It's not an injury. So if he's still sick, like we should get that news, I think, before lock. So yeah, it'd be tough to ignore Jalen Noel. Went for 31 points last game. Soft price tag, someone that I would expect to go for 25 DK points if Rudy Gobert sits once again. Alex Caruso, a decent guard value play. If you want to end up on him, that's fine. Josh Richardson, another okay value play. Just if you end up on him, you're fine with it. And then with Devin Vassell most likely sitting, we're looking at Romeo Langford to be a very strong kind of price point play. I was a little bit shocked that he didn't get priced up more, just given the amount of minutes that he got. Now, yes, he hasn't been extremely productive when he has gotten minutes, but at the same time, probably going to be locking in 15 DK points or so at 3.4. We'd want a few more, probably 18. But at the same time, I like the fact that we can get around 20 DK points, maybe the upside to go for 30 DK points at this soft price tag. Okay, once again, I already said this is a game that we want to be attacking. So this could be an easy way to go out and attack that. So value price point wise, he does make a lot of sense. And this is something that we do want to confirm that he is starting, because he started the last game. Just need to confirm that he is starting again with Vassell out. All right, so now moving on into the forwards, and the forwards are loaded this week, or this slate. Starting with KD, who you would argue probably a little bit too cheap for a guy that could easily go for 60 DK points for a guy in a really great matchup. So yeah, he's someone I'm going to be looking at, but honestly, Julius Randle he has been going off, and with RJ Barrett out, that should mean that his floor is going to be there. It's really tough not to love Julius Randle. It's really tough not to stack this game as well, just given the soft price tags. Like you would argue, given the production that Julius Randle has had, he is still too cheap. 5 straight games of over 50 DK points. Okay, and it just seems to get better and better. And now he gets an elite matchup. Like he should be able to go off. He is someone I'm trying to go out of my way to play, especially given the nature that it is very easy to stack that game. Zion, more or less, if you end up on him, you don't have enough salary to fit Randall and KD in there, you're probably just rolling with him. I don't mind that. Mark it in, a decent price point play. Once again, that matchup with Miami is not exactly one I particularly love. I do think Keldon Johnson is going to be a very strong play. I hate that he has gone like this. I don't want to say big price bump. I guess it's a little bit cheaper, but I guess I wish he was 7K, okay? Because are we getting 30 DK points from him? Yes, most likely. But at the same time, are we going to get that upside ceiling 40 DK points that like we really want? I don't know. I don't think we're going to get that. Like the minutes aren't exactly going to be there for him more so. Okay, and he shot the ball pretty well. I shouldn't say pretty well, 50%, 30 points. Like, the fact that he only scored 39 DK points on 30 real life points is concerning to me. Like we need some more of, the blocks are great. We need a few more assists. We need a few more rebounds for him to really be an elite DFS play. Like a strong play, probably going to put up 30 DK points, especially given the fact that Vassell's out. I need to see more, like I want to play him. I just don't think we're going to be able to. Got to see if Ben Simmons is going to play. Currently probably going to play. Okay. If he sits, then we're probably looking at Claxton as a decent center play. Quentin Grimes is like a GPP only play. Once again, if you are trying to stack this game, that'd be a route into which you could go ahead and stack that game. I don't mind Jalen Williams. His price point is up a little bit too much. Like I think if we're playing him, we're just asking for this production from him, 25 DK points. And we probably will get that. Not exactly someone I'm really trying to go out of my way to play. Isaiah Stewart's an interesting GPP play given the price tag, like a soft price tag for a guy that has went off for 38 and 39 DK points twice now. Definitely someone I think we can look at, but at the same time, Marvin Bagley was back last night. Okay, and we saw that impact Jalen Duren's minutes. So we gotta wait and see on the news on Bagley if he's gonna play again tonight. Okay, and if his minutes are gonna be limited again tonight. If they are, or if he sits, Stewart and Duren are going to be good plays, but if Bagley plays, then they're all okay plays. Naz Reid would basically be a lock if we get news that Gobert is going to sit. Once again, I think we'll get that before, just given the fact that it's an illness and not an injury. So I hope we get that before lock, because last night I missed the news, and when I had gone, I did have enough time, but I already had the centers filled out and the forward position filled out, so I wasn't able to swap into them, which was unfortunate because, it easily would have been a lock if we would have got that news prior. So, yeah, if we're prepping for Gobert to sit, then we're loading up on Reed and we're loading up on Jalen Noel. And probably a little bit of Anthony Edwards. I kind of glanced over him, but he'd be an okay play as well. Bay is at a soft price point, just given the amount of minutes he should get with Killian Hayes still out. He got suspended for 3 games, so this is going to be the second game that he's going to sit out. Played 30 minutes the last 2 games now. Shot the ball over 10 times now, 3 straight games. So that's appealing to me. If we can get a good night shooting out of him, it wouldn't be surprising to see him go for 30 DK points. So given the price tag, I think he is going to be worth the risk, especially if we know for sure that he's going to get those minutes, which it seems like he will. And then Mobley is currently questionable for the Cavs. If he were to sit, maybe Kevin Love gets a few more minutes. And if he does, that's going to be highly appealing because we can get Kevin Love at 4.2. And if he's someone that can get maybe 29, 24 minutes, like we are going to be most likely getting around 25 DK points, which given the price tag, that's going to be appealing to me. All right, so that's it for forwards. Let's go ahead and get into centers. So center-wise, once again, I think if Maxey sits, then we can play Joel Embiid. If Maxey plays, I don't know if I want to play Joel Embiid. I worry about the upside with him. The safety should still be there for him, 45 DK points or so, but I do worry about that upside. Just see the usage get spread out a little bit more. Bam does feel like he's priced up a little bit too much, but at the same time, I do think we are going to be locking in around 40 DK points going against Utah. That is a appealing matchup. If we get news that for some reason Luka were to sit, Luka's probable. Christian Wood would be someone you're trying to lock into your builds. And then once again, just to recap, if Ben Simmons is out, I do think Nick Claxton would be someone you could look at. Jalen Duren starting to get priced up there a little bit too much. Did have 30 minutes, but only shot the ball 4 times. Wasn't really close to anything being productive there. The biggest thing is if Marvin Bagley plays, then we just can't play him at all, I don't think, anymore. So I'm kind of prepping for Gobert to sit, so then we would be looking at Naz Reid. And if he does sit, Luke Garza was a guy that got a decent amount of run last game. 18 minutes, was highly productive in those minutes, so that's interesting to me. You probably would have thought it'd be Nathan Knight, who has been a strong DK point permanent player. It wasn't, so kind of just interesting there. And then center-wise, I do think I want to still touch on Mark Williams. I don't know if the situation really changed with him at all on this slate, guys. What made him a good play was, yes, the fact that Richards was going to be out for Charlotte, the backup center. But also, it's just like he is a strong point per minute player, and the price point is still very cheap for him. So the thing that kept me on Richard on 2 nights ago slate was the fact that there were a few tweets out there from Charlotte beat reporters saying, hey, Richards is active, but it's actually going to be Mark Williams who's going to be the backup center. So I want to see those tweets again tonight, and we should get that before lock, thankfully. It is kind of a riskier play tonight, I guess, just given the fact that Richards is going to be one more game back from injury. But if we get news that Mark Williams is still going to be the backup center, I think we can accurately project him to get around 15 to maybe even 20 minutes like he got in the previous game. If that happens, it's going to be tough not to love him because, sure, let's say we only get 15 DK points out of him. That is still good enough. Obviously we want more than that, but that's not going to hurt you terribly. And especially given the fact that he is a GPP play. We are playing him to get this out of him, to get lucky like that. Is it a lock? No. Is it less appealing today as it was 2 days ago? A little bit. But I still think he's someone, at least as it sits right now, I am going to try to play. The matchup's not as good either, but hopefully Brooklyn just brings it, guys, and it's a blowout and Mark Williams gets 25 minutes. You know, that's really what I'm hoping for there. So touching on the core plays, the unfortunate side for the core plays is that they all are predicated on some injury news. Quickly, if Brunson is out, Quickly is still going to be a great play, something that we're really going out of our way to play. If Brunson plays, Quickly could still be someone that we're looking at because he does still benefit with RJ Barrett off the court. So Quickly is still going to be a good play. Naz Reid is someone that we'll be looking at, assuming that Rudy Gobert sits. I hope he does, because then Naz Reid just becomes an instantly great play. Probably going to go for 30 DK points. And then with that, if he does sit, Jalen Noel is just way too cheap. I think we can lock in around 25 DK points out of him. Does see his minutes bump up a decent amount. So if we can get 25 minutes, I think we could be getting around 25 DK points out of him. Romeo Langford, just more or less a strong value price point play. And then I will say Julius Randle is highly intriguing to me, just given the recent production and also given that matchup with the Houston Rockets. That's going to be an appealing matchup to me. And then we have a lot of salary left over. So as you guys can see, we can still mix and match this slate pretty well. There's a lot of projected value on this slate. And so with that, there's a lot that we can do lineup path wise. So I haven't exactly figured out the lineup path that I want to do. So what I'm going to do for a first look build is I'm going to show you guys the DraftKings lineup optimizer. So all that I need to do here is I need to set some data points for it to go off of. So I'm actually going to bump Mark Williams projections up a little bit. Yeah, not projecting anything right now because, well, Richards is back. Let's just give him 18. We'll cap that at 25. And let's say Reed, bump that up to 25 as well. And then Jalen Noel, sure, 23. So let's just go ahead and run this real quick, whatever. You know, this is just early morning, just kind of interested to see what the optimal lineup would look like. Okay, so let's look at the usage. Bay in a lot, Claxton in a lot. You know, that would definitely change, I think, once we get confirmation that Ben Simmons is sitting. Senti, I don't like. Melton, I don't like. So this is all stuff I would change. What I do like, Kevin Love a lot. I guess Doncic, it'd be tough not to love him. Kyrie popping up there a lot. And then we're getting Noel, Ivy, Wood, Conley popping up there. So just interesting how it looks right now. You know, the top projected lineup, 272. You know, I definitely would try to make some changes to this, but that's kind of what it's looking like right now. All right, that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like and subscribe. Have a happy and safe New Year Eve and New Year's. Let's have a good slate. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.